In a world overflowing with information and changing at a dizzying pace, the ability to rethink and unlearn outdated beliefs is more crucial than ever. In our daily lives, we encounter new data, fresh perspectives, and evolving paradigms. We live in a time where knowledge is constantly evolving. What we once considered true may now be outdated or incomplete. The rapid pace of innovation and discovery means that yesterday's facts can become today's myths. This is where the power of rethinking comes into play. Rethinking is not simply about changing our minds, it's about being open to the possibility that we might be wrong. It's about challenging our own assumptions and being willing to see things from a different perspective. It's about cultivating a mindset of intellectual humility and a willingness to update our beliefs in light of new information. This mindset allows us to grow and adapt in an ever-changing world. Rethinking is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. It demonstrates resilience and the ability to navigate through uncertainty with confidence. It takes courage to admit we might be wrong. It takes confidence to change our minds. This confidence is built on the understanding that growth often comes from questioning and revising our beliefs, whether we are making decisions at work, navigating our relationships, or simply trying to make sense of the world around us. The ability to rethink is essential. It helps us to stay relevant, informed, and connected to the world. In the following sections, we will delve deeper into the key concepts of rethinking, exploring the pitfalls of overconfidence, the benefits of intellectual humility, and the transformative power of embracing the joy of being wrong. By the end, you'll see how rethinking can lead to personal and professional growth. We often cling tightly to our opinions. It's natural. Our beliefs feel like an extension of ourselves. We identify with them. We build communities around them. Challenging our beliefs can feel like a personal attack. This attachment to being right can be dangerous. It can lead us to dismiss information that contradicts our views. We might surround ourselves with people who only reinforce our existing beliefs. This creates an echo chamber where our own biases are amplified. Think about a time when you encountered information that challenged your deeply held beliefs. Did you immediately embrace it? Or did you feel a sense of resistance, a desire to defend your existing viewpoint? When we are overly attached to our opinions, we become blind to our own blind spots. In the next section, we will explore a more effective approach, thinking like a scientist. Scientists approach the world with a healthy dose of skepticism. They don't accept ideas at face value, even their own. Instead, they treat their beliefs as hypotheses to be tested. They seek out evidence that both supports and contradicts their views. This approach, rooted in the scientific method, is incredibly powerful. It allows us to detach from our egos and focus on the pursuit of truth. Thinking like a scientist doesn't require a lab coat or a fancy degree. It's a mindset we can all cultivate. When we encounter new information, we can ask ourselves, what is the evidence for and against this idea? This iterative process of testing, learning, and adjusting our views allows us to refine our understanding of the world and make better decisions. I introduce the analogy of 4 thinking styles: the preacher, the prosecutor, the politician, and the scientist. Each style represents a different approach to engaging with ideas. The preacher is deeply passionate about their beliefs and seeks to convert others to their way of thinking. The prosecutor is skilled at building arguments to dismantle opposing viewpoints. The politician is adept at winning over an audience and garnering support for their ideas. While each of these styles has its place, the scientist is the only one truly committed to seeking out truth, even if it means revising their own beliefs. We all wear these different hats at various points in our lives. The next section will illustrate the importance of rethinking through real-life examples, demonstrating how embracing the scientist's mindset can lead to positive change. Section 5. The transformative power of rethinking real-world examples. The history of science is replete with examples of rethinking leading to groundbreaking discoveries. These moments of re-evaluation have often led to paradigm shifts that changed the course of history. Consider the story of Ignaz Semmelweis, a Hungarian doctor who, in the mid-19th century, challenged the prevailing medical wisdom of his time. His journey is a testament to the power of questioning established norms. Semmelweis observed that women who gave birth in hospitals were more likely to die from a mysterious illness known as childbed fever than women who gave birth at home. This observation led him to investigate further. He hypothesized that doctors were inadvertently transmitting the disease from patient to patient. This was a radical idea at the time, as the concept of germs was not yet understood. At the time, this idea was met with resistance and ridicule. Many of his contemporaries were unwilling to accept that they could be the cause of such suffering. However, Semmelweis persisted, conducting experiments and collecting data that supported his hypothesis. His dedication to finding the truth was unwavering. He introduced hand washing with a chlorine solution in his hospital, and the death rate from childbed fever plummeted. This simple yet effective practice saved countless lives. Despite the overwhelming evidence, Semmelweis's ideas were not widely accepted until after his death. His story is a poignant reminder of the challenges faced by those who dare to rethink the status quo. His story highlights the importance of rethinking even deeply entrenched beliefs, especially when lives are at stake. It serves as an inspiration for future generations to question, investigate, and innovate. Section 6. Climbing down Mount Stupid, Overcoming Overconfidence. In this section, I introduce the metaphor of Mount Stupid to illustrate the dangers of overconfidence. When we are just starting to learn about a new subject, we may experience a surge of confidence. This initial phase can be exhilarating. We feel like we're making rapid progress, climbing the peak of knowledge with every step we take. However, this early confidence can be deceiving. It often masks the true depth and complexity of the subject matter. We may be overestimating our understanding and failing to recognize the vastness of what we don't know. This can lead to a false sense of mastery. This is the peak of Mount Stupid. It's a precarious position where our confidence is at its highest, but our actual knowledge is still quite limited. It's a dangerous place to be because it can lead us to make poor decisions based on incomplete information. We might act on assumptions rather than facts. We may become dismissive of alternative viewpoints, believing that we have all the answers. This can stifle our growth and limit our understanding. The key to climbing down Mount Stupid is to cultivate intellectual humility. This means acknowledging the limits of our knowledge and being open to learning. When we embrace intellectual humility, we become more open to new information, even if it challenges our existing beliefs. This openness is crucial for personal and intellectual growth. This openness to learning and growth is essential for navigating the complexities of an ever-changing world. By staying curious and humble, we can continue to expand our understanding and make better decisions. Section 7. The unexpected joy of being wrong. Being wrong is often seen as something to be avoided at all costs. We are taught from a young age that mistakes are bad and that being right is the goal. However, this mindset can be incredibly limiting. When we are afraid to be wrong, we become afraid to take risks, to experiment and to learn. The truth is, being wrong can be incredibly liberating. It's an opportunity to update our beliefs, to expand our understanding, and to grow as individuals. When we embrace the possibility of being wrong, we open ourselves up to a world of learning and discovery. Instead of fearing being wrong, we can learn to embrace it as an essential part of the learning process. When we can laugh at our mistakes and approach them with curiosity, we transform them from setbacks into opportunities for growth. Section 8. Intellectual humility, the key to unlocking growth. Intellectual humility is the antidote to overconfidence and the key to unlocking our potential for growth. It's the ability to hold our own beliefs lightly, to acknowledge that we might be wrong, and to be open to changing our minds in light of new information. Intellectual humility is not about being timid or lacking confidence. It's about having the courage to admit when we don't know something and the willingness to learn from others. When we cultivate intellectual humility, we become better listeners. We are more likely to seek out diverse perspectives and to consider viewpoints that differ from our own. This open-mindedness allows us to break free from echo chambers and engage in more constructive dialogue. Intellectual humility also makes us better learners. This willingness to learn from our mistakes and to continuously update our understanding is essential for navigating the complexities of an ever-changing world. Section 9. Cultivating a rethinking mindset, practical tips. Developing a rethinking mindset is a journey, not a destination. It's an ongoing process of self-reflection, learning, and growth. Here are a few practical tips to help you cultivate a rethinking mindset. Embrace curiosity, ask questions, seek out diverse perspectives. Be open to the possibility that you might be wrong. Think like a scientist. Treat your beliefs as hypotheses to be tested. Look for evidence that both supports and contradicts your views. Surround yourself with people who challenge you. Engage in constructive debate with people who hold different viewpoints. Be willing to change your mind. View. Changing your mind is a sign of strength, not weakness. Practice intellectual humility. Acknowledge that you don't have all the answers. Section 10. Embrace the joy of rethinking, a call to action. In a world that often feels increasingly polarized and divided, the ability to rethink has never been more important. When we cling tightly to our opinions and refuse to consider alternative viewpoints, we create echo chambers where our own biases are amplified. We become trapped in our own narrow perspectives, unable to see the world clearly. Rethinking is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. It takes courage to admit we might be wrong. It takes confidence to change our minds. Rethinking is essential for growth, both personally and professionally. When we are open to rethinking, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. I challenge you to embrace the joy of rethinking, challenge your own assumptions. Let's build a world where rethinking is not the exception but the norm, where we celebrate the joy of continuous learning and growth.